All right, we've got another patented Dave Rubin reaction video for you today. I have just heard I will be watching 6 videos of Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, of course, who I think right now is under house arrest in Romania, if I'm not mistaken, but really known as an MMA guy and sort of a kind of, if you're a dude, get your together kind of guy and go get it. Sort of like a younger, sort of musclier Jordan Peterson type. I'm going to watch 6 videos of him. I have not seen any of these videos, and I'm going to react on the internet to these videos in real time. Video 1.
I don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them. Your house is only haunted if you believe in ghosts. Belief is a powerful thing. If I were to stand in front of you and I were to tell you that I could punch you as hard as I can in your sternum and I could fracture it and send a splinter into your heart, would you allow me to try? You wouldn't, because you know I believe I can. I believe I could hurt any man on the planet, and that's why people are afraid of me. And you believe depression is a crippling disease, and that's why you're afraid of it.
Wow, there's a lot there. I mean, well, first off, if you hear a noise in your bed at night, it isn't automatically a ghost or nobody. It might be a man with a knife, like waiting for you to go to the bathroom. So I don't know if I can fully get on board that, but I like the sort of believe to achieve. I can hurt any man around there. So he's trying something. What is that tattoo? What is that tattoo of? Is that a bear or a wolf or a cobra? It's a cobra. He's got, because he's Cobra Tate, right? Got it. Okay, very good. But I don't know that I'm fully on board that, because I think there's something between believing in ghosts and having healthy skepticism when you hear some noise in your house. Clip number 2.
Imagine one day you're sitting in Paris and having a coffee, and terrorists roll through with AKs, and the person next to you has their brains blown out. You're gonna stand there and be like, waiting to die like a motherfucker. I'm gonna be like, bang, oh, I've seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out, next get the AK, go Rambo, take out all of Pakistan.
You have an AK. Why would he have an AK while he was just having a cup of coffee in the middle of Paris? He stole the other guy's. Well, good for him. I mean, I think he thinks he's living in Grand Theft Auto or something. Like, I wouldn't just sit there. If I was just sitting there, like, no offense, Brock, if I was sitting there in Paris with you and somebody blew your brains out, I don't think I would just sit there. I don't think I would grab a gun and start shooting everybody. If I had a gun, I guess I would shoot somebody. I'm pretty sure I would just calmly step aside. Well, you know, is there a bathroom? Clip number 3.
I don't think the world has ever been equal. That the modern society we live in has been built by men. Let's cut the crap. All the roads you see, all the buildings you see, everything around you, men built. All of it. That's true. When women come along and say, oh, we're just as important, you are just as important, but you had a completely different role. You fulfilled a different role in society. And I think now, if you look at the roles of society, I believe men are still doing their job, but I don't know if women are doing their job. Men are still out here building the modern world. But when they come home now, the girl's like, oh, why should I cook for you?
Well, he had me on the first, like, 80% of that. And then at the end, it's like, dude, you just got to find a better chick, right? Like, there are plenty of women that want to cook for their guy and keep the house in order. And maybe they're working during the day or raising kids or anything else. But the general concept, and what we talk about a lot on the show, the idea that men built a lot of these things, men built cities and were underground with cockroaches on them, inhaling God knows what, and in coal mines and everything else. Like, there's not a lot of women doing those things. Men like things, women like people. That's real. But you can find a woman. You got to find a woman who can do both. I believe that's what they say. So get out there and find her.
Search up, if you were to look up the highest IQs in the world, the first 10, first 20, look them up. Are they men or women? I haven't done this. Look it up.
I did highest IQ in the world. Literally what comes up. Marilyn von Savant has one of the world's highest IQs. She is known as the smartest person in the world.
Cool. Then all right, cool. Then I'm totally wrong. I never even said, all I told you is that the most stupid people in the world were men and the most intelligent people in the world were men. I read a study on it 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought, you know what? I know some stupid men. I don't know women that dumb. I agree with that. And I know some really smart men. I don't know women that smart. I agree with that.
I think you're very smart, but for everything you say, there can be argument that an intelligent woman wants nothing to do with you because you think they're stupid. But stupid guys are like, this guy's going to make me a ton of money. So you run into a lot of stupid guys, and the intelligent women are going their own way.
Well, that would be a large generalization, Dave.
That's what we're doing. There's been a lot of those here.
Isn't that what he does? That's his thing, large generalizations. Look, I know some stupid people and I know some bright people. It really doesn't necessarily cross the gender spectrum on that. Like, if I was just to look at the guest list of my show, the most sort of enlightened, really smart people tend to be male. I mean, I wonder if I broke down the guest list of all the shows I've ever done, all the interviews I've ever done of philosophers and religious leaders and politicians and everything. Like, they're usually men, great deep thinkers, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not to say women aren't. Men and women are just wired differently. Women care about different things, as I said in the previous one. So I think that was kind of, he might be ballparking it, but yeah, it's a big generalization there. All right, what else we got?
And when you're 52 and you're past it with no grandchildren in a house by yourself, and all your friends have grandchildren in this beautiful life, and you're sitting there by yourself, do you think the fact that you could afford a few extra Gucci bags is going to genuinely make you feel happy? I was at my grandmother's 93rd birthday. I looked there. My grandmother had 9 children because there was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman. Isn't that remarkable? Nobody cared about her career. Nobody asked what job she did. Nobody asked how many times she went to the club. Nobody asked if she had time to go to festivals. No, you had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful.
Wow, that's pretty good. I mean, that's hitting like the good stuff about being a woman and, some of the other stuff he was saying about them being smart or whatever. Like, there's also various types of knowledge, right? And being the matriarch of a family is one of those things. What that was reminding of, as I was watching it, was when my grandma, my dad's mom, was in her last few hours at the hospital. We knew, we had taken her off the machines and everything after a couple days of trying a few things towards the end, and she was in her late 80s. And over the course of the day, when they take you off when they pull the tube, basically, you could die like that. Sometimes I think people can last a couple days off everything. So we had no idea. This was in New Jersey. Most of my family lived in the New York City, New York, Jersey area. So throughout the day, all the grandkids, the aunts, the uncles, all her children, everybody was coming. Some people, my cousin was flying in from Utah. Everyone got there starting at like 8 a.m. I was there at about 9 a.m. coming from New York City. But we all got there throughout the day. We all sat with her and held her hand and told stories. And we were crying and laughing and fighting and all of this stuff. And then finally, my last cousin flying in from across the country, he got there at about 7 o'clock p.m. We all sat there, did our thing. It was a beautiful day representing her. And then at about 8 p.m., we just heard the sound. There's just the beep. You hear just this long beep. And that meant it was over, and it was a beautiful ending. So I think that is a life well worth living, and I think there's something to that. He said 53 years old, and if you don't have any kids, and you got the Gucci bag and all the stuff, it's like, I can say it as a new parent. I have a lot of stuff. I have the stuff that I want. I really do. But having those kids, and that hopefully they'll have kids, and I'll be grandpops one day, and all that stuff. Like, you do start realizing that there's some more important stuff out there than just the stuff itself. How was that for deep? What else you got?
Breathe air. You don't need a vape. Have you ever seen anyone with a vape?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever sat in a room? So we go, wait, let me just go. My vape's done charging.
Yeah.
Load it up. I smoke cigars, but I know what the I'm doing. Give me a big fat cigar. I'm risking cancer to look like a mafia boss. Fine.
Well,
I'm not sitting there smoking cigars and going, I can't believe this is bad for me. No, like these vape bullshit children. And what kind of parent lets their 16-year-old vape anyway? If I had a 16-year-old son, he's like, I got a vape. Get the out of here, vape. Do
But
some
will you let a
push-ups.
16-year-old smoke a cigar? That's the question. Like this is now that watching some of these videos and some of the other stuff I've seen with him, he like really nails certain things in like a really beautiful, like crystallized laser-like way. And then he like says these like crazy broad things about like hitting his kid for the vape and all. But yes, the idea when you see these people, you see them every now and again. These people with the vape, or sometimes it's like almost like a box. They got that big ass box, and you see them walking in a cloud of smoke like they're Skeletor, like having just done a potion or something. Like something is not right with these people, and they usually are not in great health. I have someone who you guys all know, perhaps a former guest of the Rubin Report, who's a big vape guy, and every time I see him, I'm like, dude, what are you doing with the? And he never feels that great, but he's always vaping and. So yeah, what was the moral of that though? Hit the kid?
Out of here, vape. Do some push-ups.
Do a couple of push-ups and yeah, look, I mostly, for the most part, when it comes to these things, like anything in moderation. It's how I don't smoke cigarettes. I never have. If I took the amount of puffs of a cigarette that I've ever taken in my life, I don't even think it would equal one full cigarette, like maybe 10 puffs ever in my entire life. I've smoked a couple cigars over the years. I really don't like them. Actually, remember we went to the Patrick Bet David podcast and he's got this awesome cigar lounge after, and I didn't even smoke a cigar. Phoenix was smoking one, and everybody, Patrick was, and Giuliani, and I felt like I got hit by a truck the next day. You stink, but I get it. People, and conservatives especially, absolutely love them. I do smoke weed occasionally.
Okay, cool guy.
But I take like one puff of something, and I watch Seinfeld, and I laugh a little bit, and then I pass out. Like that's how I roll. But I think most things in moderation. And the moral of the story was hit your 16-year-old kid. Was that it? That was it? That's been Dave Rubin reacting to Andrew Tate. More next time on these reaction programs that we're doing. Thank you.